Robert Plank Show, episode 59. A tale of two traffic sources: solo ads versus affiliate networks. Welcome back to the Robert Plank Show, where we talk about making money. And guess what? Mr. Robert Plank is going to talk some smack about these things called solo ads. Well, hopefully not too much. I don't think I'll be that negative, but we're going to talk about traffic. We're going to talk about different ways to get traffic, and a lot of ways, and a lot of the traffic fads and things like that. And as far as the traffic fads go, the things that come and go, honestly, I've seen them all come and go, and my one regret is not jumping on the different fads that are out there and that have come and gone. And what am I talking about? Well, one traffic technique that is kind of a fad, but this seems to resurface more often than the rest, is a thing called 100% commission. You sell a product, an information product, for let's say $10. It includes video, software, written reports, things like that, and you sell this for $10 over and over again. But then after someone pays you $10 to buy it, you say, well, if you would like to promote this to your own people, then you can register here by clicking this link, and then you can send your link to your Facebook following, your email subscribers, some people like that, and if you make one sale, then I will give you the full $10. If you make two sales, I'll give you $20. And so this is a cool way of making your traffic and your products go viral. And a lot of people, I hate to say it, it's sad, but they spend 80% of their time on making a product really great. And I mean, you should sell high quality product. You should sell things that are step by step and helpful and a complete system, and actually show how someone can duplicate the process you've already taken, from fixing your anxiety through hypnosis, from losing weight through a meal and exercise plan, from making money on the stock market, from creating a stable income from real estate trading, all that other cool stuff. You should be able to solve people's problems. But then once you make the product, it's then time to put yourself out there, to actually be an internet marketer and make some sales. So you have to do these things called traffic. And so there are a lot of goofy ways of getting traffic. And one way we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk a little bit of smack about it, is this thing called solo ads. Now, what's a solo ad? Well, the thing is that the money is in the list when it comes to internet marketing, and that means if you have an email subscriber list of 10,000 people, 100,000 people, then what does that mean for you? It means that when you wake up in the morning, you can click a button and you can type a email subject line and an email message, click the send button, and then broadcast that message to 10,000 or more people who have chosen to sign up for your list. Okay, so you probably get emails on a regular basis from Facebook, from Amazon, from maybe YouTube, maybe Google, and you have voluntarily opted into those websites, and you can always turn off email notifications, but those sites email you on a regular basis. So if you're not emailing on a regular basis, well then why not? All the companies that make the most money do it. And the problem might be that your list is too small, and you say, well, I'm not really too excited about spending 5 or 10 minutes crafting a message to my people, and then maybe I only have 100 subscribers. I'll send a message, maybe I'll get 10 clicks, maybe I'll get one sale. So isn't that still worth it to make? Even if you only made one sale a day of maybe $50, isn't it worth it to spend 5 minutes to make $50? Well, yes, and in many cases it can grow to hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on how big you build up your email list. And you always have to be building up this list, because we've talked about in previous episodes that 1% of your list decays every day just because people unsubscribe, you get email bounces or things like that. So you have to be building your list, especially if you already have a product. And if you don't have a product, well, then you can go to some of these affiliate networks and grab an affiliate link of your own, and then shoot that off to your email list. And whatever niche you're in, right, even if you're in dog training, scuba diving, well, you can go to Google, type in scuba diving affiliate program, and find all kinds of offers where you can register and grab a special link and then sell someone else's product. And yes, you're making someone else money, and yes, you're building someone else's list for them, but they give you usually about half of the commission, so that is still an easy way for you to make money if you don't have a product. So getting more and more people in your email subscriber list. Well, one way to do it that died off a few years ago is this thing called joint venture giveaways. And that means that basically all these people join these membership sites, these free clubs, so to speak. They join this club and they get about 100 different things to download. And they have to flip through every page, and to claim each of their downloads, they have to type in their first name and their email address, and then they can get their free gift. So they might join in and they might see this web page that says, I want to give you 100 different reports and videos and things like that. And one of the reports is about making money on eBay. One of the reports is about affiliate marketing. One of the reports is about drop shipping. And what they don't realize is that, well, a different person sells each of these reports. And so all these people who want to build their lists, they register for these joint venture giveaways, right? And that way they are giving away, and sometimes they're things that they actually sell for money, but then in this little club, they give it away for free. And then someone who wants the free stuff goes and signs up, and they get all these things for free they normally would have to pay for. So that's one way, it's one example of a thing called joint venture giveaways. Another thing is a viral report. So once again, this is a couple years out of date. It doesn't work quite as well, especially because of things like Facebook, but the whole idea of a viral report is that you give somebody a really cool, really helpful special report, like a PDF document on something like how to set up WordPress. And you can have this report and say, here's where you get WordPress, here's where you grab plugins, here's where you get your theme, here's how to make a whole money-making website using free tools. Really helpful, right? But then at the bottom of that report, or maybe within the report, you can say, well, if you give this to one of your friends, and here's a special link, if one of your friends then signs up under you, then maybe I'll give you, $1. And all you have to do is tell your friend to get this thing for free, and I'll give you $1. I'll actually take a loss and pay you $1. Or you might even say, okay, well, here's the report on how to make money from WordPress, but I want to sell you some actual videos and some plugins so you can pay for them. Or if you refer 10 of your people, then you can then get that unlocked for free. So kind of a cool idea, right? And so the idea, once again here, is that you create something that actually solves a problem, use your existing list to seed the launch, which means that you tell anyone you know, any of your subscribers about this thing that you're giving away for free, and then if 5 or 10% of those people then pass it along, then it grows and grows and grows. So that's another way of building your list. Little out of date, but now you're getting the idea that a lot of people much smarter than you and I have devised these really cool fads or schemes of making money. Now, you might have heard of another. This is a little more mainstream. This thing called a traffic exchange. Again, really out of date, right? And so, a thing about a traffic exchange is, well, you can either buy or you can accumulate credits in a traffic exchange, right? So you join this thing called a traffic exchange, and what you can do is you can say, well, there's this thing called a traffic exchange, and there's all these offers that are being rotated throughout it. Okay, and so I got to think of more niches here. So within this traffic exchange, somebody might be selling a product about how to play guitar. Somebody else might be selling a product about how to learn a language, and these are actually things people are selling. And so what happens is if you mail people to this traffic exchange, well, some of them will see the guitar course, some of them will see the learning a language course, and so a certain percentage of these people buy the guitar or the learning language courses. So it's worth it for the creator of the guitar product or the language product to go and register in this traffic exchange, because they might buy a bunch of credits or a bunch of clicks people to come to their site, but they make sales, so then they make money. And even if you lose a little bit of money, you're still growing your business, and if you have upsells and other offers, you make more than that money back over time. So that's where the offers end of it comes in. And then what could happen is then, well, you might only have your 100 subscribers, and then you might email your list, send your subscribers to this thing called the traffic exchange. And then if they click and go to the guitar playing site and the learning language site, then you earn credits. And maybe just to keep it simple, maybe it's like if someone clicks on one thing, you earn 1 credit, just to make it simple. And then, so you earn your 1 credit. And then sometimes in these things called traffic exchanges, you can get things like banner ads. So you can say, well, if someone buys a product from me, then I can, they pay me money, they get their videos, they get their little report, and then on that page where they can get their video and report, underneath that, I'll put a little banner ad for the traffic exchange, because guess what? They already paid me money. They're already my subscriber now. Maybe they want to just click on something else, and then even if they don't buy, I have now accumulated, a couple thousand credits in this thing called the traffic exchange. And then if I want to go and do a big launch or have a new product, I can go back to that traffic exchange where I've accumulated credits because I've sent people through it, and maybe I could even go and pay the traffic exchange $20 and get 2,000 more credits. And then I can say, all right, now I want to turn the traffic on and send and bring traffic back to my site. So there now will be even other marketers who then promote the traffic exchange, and so people then come and buy. So that sounds like a good idea, and in a lot of cases it worked, but sometimes it kind of turns into a house of cards situation where if there's just too much selling going on, not enough new traffic, it kind of dies. There's a thing called a co-registration, which means that you might team up with 10 other marketers, and when you build your list, you say, enter your name and email address, and here's the checkbox to join my newsletter. But then you can join this other guy's newsletters, other guy's newsletters, other guy's newsletters, and in one click now someone has joined 5 or 10 related newsletters in addition to yours, and then you can build up credits, and then maybe someone else who builds a list can have your checkbox under his or her form. There's a thing called a safe list, which is really crappy, and I mean, don't even go near I don't even know these are around anymore. So a safe list is where you join like an email-based community. So you might join a safe list that has 100 other marketers, okay? So you join this thing called a safe list, and suddenly you start getting emails every day from all these other marketers, but then you yourself can send an email and broadcast it to these other people as well. So lots of really cool ways of traffic, and I mean, then there's the really simple stuff like you could buy or you can rent an email list. You can go to a site like Info USA and you can find all the people who have recently bought homes or recently gone on vacation and have at least 2 children and own at least one home and make an annual income of at least $200,000 a year. And then you narrow down that list and then you pay maybe $5 or $10 a lead. And now you can, in some cases, you can use their system to send out an email blast, maybe just one email blast, send them to your opt-in page and get 10% of them to opt in, and now those become your subscribers. You can put what's called a retargeting pixel on that page, so even if they click and don't opt in, then you can create and send ads that follow them all around Facebook, follow them all around the internet. And so there's lots and lots of ways of getting basically instant traffic on demand. Bing ads, Facebook ads, all kinds of cool stuff. But at the end of the day, you have to build your own list of email subscribers. Renting a list is great, and if you can break even on it or even make a little bit of money, that's great. But the real power in it, the real repeat business, is getting a list of email subscribers. So we're going to talk about why solo ads. So solo ads is the traffic method out of all these ones, and it's easy to discount a lot of the ones I just said because they are gone and they didn't work, or certain things made them illegal. For example, anti-spam laws like can spam and things like that made co-registration safe lists a really, really bad idea. But I mean, this thing called solo ads, if someone else has built their own list of email subscribers, well then what's the problem in paying them, say, $300 for them to email their list, and then they'll send you maybe 100 clicks or 200 clicks back to, or you get 1,000 clicks back to your site, and then those people can then choose to join your list or buy from you or not. Now I think that if you paid someone just for their email leads, that would be kind of a gray area. That would be kind of shady. But if you pay someone else to send an email message that you wrote and they can just paste it all in theory, everybody wins, right? Because, well, if you have an opt-in page, you want to get subscribers. If you have a product and a sales letter, you want to make sales. And then other people have these lists that they've built from all these crazy traffic sources I've talked about. They've messed around with the CPA stuff and the CPV stuff, if you know what those are, but they've messed around with all the ways of building a list, and they might not have an easy way to make money. They might not have a bunch of different products or any good affiliate links, so they would, instead of them having to research an affiliate program and type in a big long email and stress out if any clicks are even going to show up or if it's going to make them $100 or $200, I'd rather just say, okay, well, for $300, you can register a date in this calendar when I will then email for you. You give me the email message, and so it seems pretty simple. They can just fill up a calendar's worth of all these $300 payments, and then just put it in the timing of the autoresponder, and say, well, cool. If on January 15th coming up, if someone wants to, buy a solo ad for that date, then they do that. They pay me the money, and then they give me the email message, and then I can just boom, schedule it and not even have to think about it when it comes time for January 15th. Solo ads kind of suck though, and I'm not going to be super negative today. Let's get off on a little bit of a tangent about negativity. We're not going to stay here too long because it's really terrible about to focus on how negative things are, and you can tell I'm even getting kind of flustered. It's really easy, especially if you're a work-at-home entrepreneur, to fall back into old habits, such as being an employee or such as working just hard enough to look busy and working just hard enough to not get fired. The problem, though, is if you're in business for yourself and you're working just hard enough to not get fired, well, then your income will drop and dip until it's nothing or it's very little. So we don't want that. And we want to be aware if we're heading down the wrong track, and want to have enough drive and enough of an edge to kind of haul ass and hustle to do the things that are going to make us money, such as finishing our projects, so that we don't fall off a cliff. But we don't want to be stuck in the doom and gloom, because that's a whole nother can of worms where you become happy being miserable, and you become happy ruining other people's days. And what you should have instead is this thing called an abundance mindset, and hope for the best but plan for the worst. If you're frustrated or are mad or upset about anything going on in your life, turn that frustration into fuel. If you see everyone else making money but you, if you see people selling really crappy products or having really crappy sales letters and you can do a better job, well, then prove them wrong. Success is the best revenge. The problem with being super negative, I can go on and on about all the reasons why you shouldn't be negative, but here's the only one that matters. Negativity leads to a self-fulfilling prophecy. What does that mean? It means that you become what you think about, and that means that your life might actually be going great, and you're doing this online business thing and it's cranking, and maybe you've made it to $500 a month or $2,000 a month, and you're on track for a $10,000 month. But if you're just negative and you're just having a bad attitude, well, there's a thing called a confirmation bias, which means that we make up our minds pretty quickly, and then according to what we see, we pick and choose what we want to believe, and we ignore a lot of what comes in, and then choose to hang on to the things that reinforce our beliefs. Now, this is good in a certain sense because it prevents us from being wishy-washy and from always changing our minds. Okay, but if you have the wrong beliefs, then your confirmation bias will reinforce that your income's only going to be a certain amount, or that you have to work and slave for all these hours in the day, or that you don't deserve the money, or whatever it is, and then everything becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy. If things are actually looking up and going great, but you choose to believe that the world is united against you and that nothing's going to work out, then eventually that will be the case. And then you'll feel like you were completely right the whole time, and good thing I didn't take a risk because your self-fulfilling prophecy kicked in, and your negativity just got the best of you. So we don't want to be super gullible, but maybe we want to say, if you're feeling down in the dumps or not feeling too motivated, ask yourself the most important question, which is, what's good about this, or what could be good about this, okay? And so, there's some saying of, I think Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb, said, I haven't failed inventing the light bulb 10,000 times, I've just found 10,000 things that don't work. And so that might mean that, well, if you're a year into this internet marketing thing and you still haven't made any money, well, what's good about this is you found the ways that haven't made money, and that's way you won't repeat your mistakes, and you might be just a couple days or weeks away from making that first money. So, I mean, pep talk over, all right, but the bottom line is don't be negative because it'll get the best of you. So, solo ads. Sounds good in theory, where I can just load up the truck and I can just get a bunch of money and I can pay all these guys a little bit of money. Because what's cool too about these things called solo ads is that people have, for lack of a better term, sales letters to sell their solo ads. They say, here's my name, here's what my list is, a group of weight loss enthusiasts or health enthusiasts or biz op seekers or internet marketers or people who like WordPress plugins. but they'll explain what their list is. They might explain their list size, and then they'll then maybe show testimonials of other people who have bought their packages of solo ads. And someone might say, I bought the 200 click package. He sent me 250 clicks, and I made 10 sales. Awesome! So I doubled my money. And so they give you different size packages. So you might be able to pay someone, say, $60 for 100 clicks, or $125 for 250 clicks. And my attitude is, I'll try people out, and I mean, obviously, like, the bigger the package, the better deal you get, right? So it might be that if you buy like the $50 package, then the amount that the clicks work out to is like 50 cents per click, right? So you might pay someone $50, and then they'll send you 100 clicks. Now you send those 100 clicks to your squeeze page, which is where, and if you want to see a squeeze page, go to backupcreator.com/cashflow. That's a squeeze page, a page with nothing on it, but you present a free gift with a headline and 3 bullet points and tell them to sign up below, and there's a form where they can enter in their first name and email address. They do that, they get something for free. Now they are your subscriber, and then you upsell them to something that they will buy. So if you paid $50 for a solo ad package that sends you 100 clicks, and your squeeze page is pretty on target, let's say that your squeeze page converts at 50%, which is pretty doable if it's real short and to the point. No testimonials on the squeeze page, no videos, just here's the thing you want, get it. So if you get 100 clicks for $50, and then if half of them opt in, then you're paying $50 for 50 subscribers, about $1 per lead. So if you can do that, then that is great. But it's tough to do, especially because not everyone's list is created equal, and I think it's because the lists are either old or built from kind of questionable traffic sources, or they're beat down to death. Now, speaking of questionable traffic sources, there is a site called AdFly, adf.ly. And this is a site where you could, if you had, I think like the cheapest traffic is like 40 cents for every 1,000 clicks, I believe. And so let's say that you had $4 in your pocket, okay? You can buy 10,000 clicks to your website. And it would probably take maybe about an hour or two for all the clicks to be delivered. But so if you want to have 500 people, actual humans, on your webpage right this second, and you only have $4, then there's this site called AdFly. Now, why is this a waste of money? Well, it's not that the traffic is fake. It's not like there's like zombie robot traffic or anything like that. But there are websites. And let's just say like it might be like Wall Street Journal or like TV Guide or something. But we've all been to websites where you might be browsing Facebook. You click on something that says, "Well, check out the top 10 reasons to buy a home." Cool, I want to read that. You click on it, and then it says like, "Check out this ad first." And then in 10 seconds, you'll actually be able to go to the thing you clicked on. This is called an interstitial ad. Well, this AdFly site allows you to buy interstitial ad traffic, which means that someone might be going on Facebook and they'll see that article, they'll click, and then while they're waiting the 10 seconds to read their article, then it will literally load up your webpage with whatever you want on it right in front of them. So the reason why this is a bad idea is because this is very, very, very untargeted traffic. I believe that with AdFly, you can't choose any keywords, right? So for example, if someone is looking for like a WordPress cloner on Google, I could create a Google ad targeting the phrase WordPress cloner or buy WordPress cloner or some kind of phrase like that, and I'll be targeting the exact person I want. With AdFly, you can say, well, I want to target people in Vietnam. I want to target people in the United States, and that's about as closely defined as you can get it. So there's nothing. I mean, and I don't care what you're selling. There's nothing you have that literally everyone in the U.S. or literally everyone in Vietnam is going to buy. Even if you say, well, I sell an iPhone. Well, maybe someone already has an iPhone or some other phone. There's literally nothing that everyone is looking to buy on the internet, especially your site, especially in the niche that you're in. So this place called AdFly is a great way to get a bunch of. I mean, it's human traffic, but it is garbage traffic. But some of these people who have built solo ad lists have built lists from AdFly. You can have a very generic message and say, fill in this page and get some coupons. Fill in this page and play this free game. You can build a huge list of just like people who don't give a crap and who don't read your emails and who don't buy anything. And so you can build a list of hundreds of thousands of subscribers that way. But then how do you actually make money from that? And so I'm looking at a spreadsheet right now of solo ad traffic that I've bought, because I mean the thing is too, I mean, we don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater, and most solo ad sellers suck, let me just say that. And the solo ad sellers we've had a lot of success with are the ones who don't normally sell solo ads, or the ones who just have a good list, but they don't want to bother with our affiliate program. Maybe it's things where we don't have an affiliate program, or we don't want to give away a certain amount of commission, so we just want to pay them a flat fee to send out our email. And so I mean, I mean, how much would it hurt to just go to someone, especially if your niche is outside of internet marketing, see how much it would cost to send an email to their list, ask them the size of their list. Maybe $300 would cover it. Maybe just offer them, say, about 30 cents per click, and keeping in mind that they will probably get about 2% of their list to click. So that means, to make the math simple, if you know someone with an email list of 10,000 email subscribers. I'm not talking about Twitter followers, Facebook fans, whatever. 10,000 email subscribers. If about 2% of their list clicks, that means that they'll be able to send you 200 clicks. So if you offer them about $60, then that is the going rate for sending that list. And if they're a list that doesn't get hit that often, maybe you can make it like $100 or something. But the point is that everything's for sale for someone, and it's just a matter of the price. So this thing is called solo ads. Solo ad sellers, if you just Google search the name of your niche, like internet marketing, and the word solo ad, you will be able to find some of these web pages where people will sell you solo ad traffic. They'll have a thing where you can click a button, pay them money, choose the day that your email will go out, and send them the message. So I'm looking at a spreadsheet, as I said, of about $2,000 worth of solo ads. To be precise, $1,912 of ads I've bought over about a 1-year period. So every couple of months I would buy 4 or 5 of these ads, because I'm always looking for any possible way to build a list. And the only way that I'm really good at building a list is to create a paid product and then get that paid product a bunch of sales, and then those people who bought from me are the best email subscribers ever. It's one thing for someone to sign up for you for something for free, but if they actually paid you money, even if it was just $10, that is way more valuable than a free opt-in. But I'll take it wherever I can get. So $1,912 to get 3,209 clicks, which resulted in 1,059 email opt-ins, and as far as sales go, $502 in sales. So to keep the math simple, about $2,000 to get about 1,000 free opt-in subscribers, and make $500 in the process. You might say, well, you're an idiot, Robert Plank, because you just paid $2,000 only to make $500 back. Well, what I did was I paid $2,000 to make $500 back, plus 1,000 new email subscribers, and what I consider is that a free email subscriber is worth about $1. And in my case, with my list, and I have a number of products, a number of upsells, I'd probably consider that to be a little over $1 worth, maybe $1.50 or $2 worth. But the point is, you need to put some of the money that you're making from internet marketing back into advertisements. And if your list is below 10,000 subscribers, you really, really need to get that into 20, 30, 40, 50,000 or more, just because the money is in the list. And the biggest list you have, the easier it is to make money, especially if you email regularly, which means once a week or more, and you'll actually be excited to send emails to your list, because guess what? Sending emails to your list actually means making some money. So I created a few opt-in pages, and one is that backupcreator.com/cashflow page. And so the Backup Creator page says I'm going to give you free training on WordPress and cloning and backing up your site. They sign up, and what they get after signing up is a webinar replay, is a 1-hour video teaching and showing lots of cool stuff, and at the end is a pitch for our Backup Creator plugin, which costs $7 or $47 depending on which version of the plugin they buy. And even after that, the other cool thing about Backup Creator, it's kind of a secret, but once someone joins Backup Creator, they buy it and it works and it will work forever. But a year or 2 or 3 years later, if they want to get newer versions of the plugin, then they have to pay again. So many, and we have a thing called a lifetime license. So many people who have joined our Backup Creator plugin, just paying the $7, they used it, they loved it, they wanted to unlock the remaining $40 worth of features. So maybe a year later, paid the $40. And then maybe 3 years later, paid another year of support, and then maybe a year after that, they said, okay, I've been paying for support every year. I just want to pay the full lifetime value. So we might have actually gotten $200 or $300 from them just when it started from a $7 WordPress plugin. So if I make a sale of Backup Creator, I consider that a very long-term, powerful sale, just because that's software that they will continue to use and continue to pay for years to come. So we sent people to this Backup Creator opt-in page. And so a couple things. I know that this opt-in page converts, and when I say converts, I mean gets people to opt in, because we've tried it on our own list. We've tried it with other traffic sources. That works. And I know that once people watch the video, they end up buying. I know that works very, very well. I don't have the exact percentages, but that works very, very well. So I said, well, great. I want to turn up the juice on this. I want to turn on the fire hose. I want to get more traffic. So what I did was I created a spreadsheet. And you can create a spreadsheet for free by going to google.com/drive and making a new Google Sheet. I made columns, and I'll read these off to you real quick. I made a column in the spreadsheet of a solo ad seller site, so like the URL where someone was selling these things called solo ads. A column that said number of clicks ordered. So remember how I said that I can buy 100 clicks or 500 clicks from someone, and some of these guys even have packages going up to like $20,000. It's kind of crazy. But I mean, for a lot of these people, I just would throw 50 or 100 bucks at them to see how many clicks they could deliver. And without getting too technical, I used an old piece of software, but it still works, called Ad Tracks. ADTRACKZ. Ad Tracks with a Z. And this would allow me to create different campaigns and allow me to see, so like if I bought a solo ad from a guy named Jack, then I could see how many clicks Jack delivered to me. It would track the link. Then if I bought clicks from someone named Jill, I could see exactly how many clicks Jill would deliver to me. Because the way that these solo ad sellers work is you pay them a set amount of money and they will guarantee you a set amount of clicks. And so that way, if you know that your opt-in page converts, then you can count on a certain number of email subscribers. And then if you know how well your offer converts, then you can kind of guess on how many sales you can expect to get. And if you either break even or you lose a little bit of money, then losing that little bit of money is worth the new subscribers you added to your business, if that makes sense. So we had solo ad seller site was a column, number of clicks ordered was a column, opt-in rate was a column, and then I had a column for the cost, the amount of money that I paid. So solo ad site, number of clicks, opt-in rate, and cost. And then I had some check marks of, have I paid for this ad? Have I contacted the seller and given them the email to send? And then have they emailed for me? And so if they gave me a date, I would put the date in that column. And then once they mailed, I would just put a little X or check mark knowing that they were done. And then I had parts in the spreadsheet that would list the number of clicks, the number of opt-ins, and the number of sales, and then the revenue, and then a little column for notes. But clicks, opt-ins, sales, and revenue. So no, that was a lot to take in here. But I would just have solo ad seller, number of clicks, opt-in rate, the cost, and then have I paid them? Have I contacted them? Have they mailed for me? And then clicks, opt-ins, number of sales, and revenue. And so, kind of going down the list, let me tell you, I'm not gonna say names. I'm not gonna give you like a laundry list of different things that happened, but just to give you a couple of different ideas of how things went. So I'm looking, and there was let's see. So there's one guy I bought a solo ad from, right? And I paid him $100 for 200 clicks. And that opt-in page converted at 32%. And now I know that if it was all really great subscribers or all my subscribers, it'd probably convert close to 50%. But 30% is still pretty good. I mean, as long as it's over 20%, I'm so happy. So I said, okay, cool. So first of all, I paid him $100, and he sent me 219 clicks. So I can say, all right, well, first of all, he delivered the number of clicks that he was supposed to, and then it converted at 32.42%. So what did that equal out to? 71 opt-ins. So already by doing that math of a lead, an opt-in is worth $1 to me, I can say that I paid him $100 and I made the equivalent of $71. So now I'm only out $30. So if I just make a sale or two, then that's worth it, and I can repeat that over and over again. So actually it did make one sale. It made one sale at $97. So cool. So I not only broke even, but I also added 70 subscribers to my list. Now you might be thinking, well, geez, Robert, like what the heck's wrong with you? You're getting excited about one sale at $100. Well, what if you did this every day? And I've gone back to this seller over and over again, and sometimes it's broken even, sometimes it's not. But I mean, that's money out of thin air. That's money from just moving traffic around. Now, the thing is, too, though, is that the thing with the solo ads, it's a great way to build a list, but it's not going to be the huge payday that you're hoping for. Like if you break even or double your money, that's freaking fantastic. Are you going to 10 times your money? Are you going to put in $100 and get $5,000 out of it? Well, no, probably not, but you can build a list that will make you income over and over again over time. So let me give you an example that didn't work out. So there's a guy who he claims to have even invented solo ads in their current form right now. So I'm like, well, great. If anyone's gonna know how to do this, it's this guy. And this guy always talks about how he makes a consistent $10,000 a month and was able to quit his job because of just selling solo ads. I was like, whoa, it's one thing to sell solo ads and make a couple $1,000s and then the income peters out once the list dies. But if this guy is consistently making $10,000 a month and he's selling like, $300 packages every day, well, let's do the math. I mean, he's probably sending about 1,000 clicks a day, and he's building up his list faster than it's dropping off, and he's probably fully booked. This guy has got to know his stuff. So I went to his site, and he had a package for 200 clicks for $175. So then great, I paid it, gave him the ad, he mailed for it. He sent back 241 clicks out of 200, and that's always what's cool, is they always give you a little bit more than what you ordered. And then it converted at 24.07%, so 58 opt-ins, but then no sales. So I was like, okay, well, you need to put about 20% of your income back into your business for ads. And I mean, I've put hundreds of dollars into Facebook ads and sometimes made money and sometimes not. So I'll put money into ads and sometimes it doesn't work out. So then I said, okay, well, that guy didn't work out, but then there's another guy who goes to many different events, and he always talks about solo ads, and even runs his own events about solo ads. So this guy, maybe he's like the new up and comer when it comes to solo ads. So I was like, great. So I went and saw, and he had lots of good testimonials, and I bought his package for 250 clicks, and the cost was $150. So I paid him, and then I didn't hear from him for like 2 or 3 weeks. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. I gave him the ad. Nothing came back. Took 3 or 4 emails to actually even get a response from him. And then he emailed about a week later. So like a month after I paid for my solo ad, finally I saw the clicks coming in. And I only got about 30 clicks. And I was like, okay, well, I paid you for 250. Where are my clicks? And then he emailed again, and then I ended up with a total of 81 clicks. So I paid for 250, and I got about a third of what I paid him. So I was like, well, that's not very good. But at least he sent me real traffic. So the opt-in rate was at 23.46%, so about a quarter. So I got 19 opt-ins. So I said, well, this is really not worth it. $150. He only gave me a third of the traffic he was supposed to. No sales, only 19 opt-ins. So then I asked him for either to mail a third time or to give me a refund, and he just ignored me. And I asked again a week later, ignored me again. I was coming up on the refund period, so I contacted PayPal and said, okay, well, here's what I bought from. I paid for 250 clicks, did not receive them. Can I get a refund? And he countered with, well, I'll give you half the money back. And I was just like, no, we're not bargaining here. I bought traffic from you. I didn't get I only got a tiny bit of that traffic. I want the money back. And I mean, long story short, he ended up winning and he ended up getting the money. So once again, with traffic, you win some, you lose some. And so one final little Debbie Downer story for you here is there's another guy who was actually, like, for lack of a better term, a real internet marketer for a number of years. Put out his own products, his own membership sites, all this cool stuff. And then one day he said, well, I'm going to start selling solo ads. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. That's kind of a step backwards. Maybe he's, taking a couple months off and wants the money to keep coming in. So I looked at his different packages, and always, I'm like, I don't always want to buy like the smallest package because you get a little better deal if you do a bigger one. But I'm like, let me buy the second smallest package. And then if that pays off, I'll buy one once a month. So I bought a package from him for $67 for 100 clicks. Now, 100 clicks is not a lot, but I said, well, if this breaks even, then I'll go back and pay for 1,000 clicks. So then it took him a while to get back to me, and I think it was scheduled for like a month and a half later. So I paid him, gave him the message, and then he mailed about a month and a half later. And so keep in mind, again, that I paid for 100 clicks. And he sent 84 clicks. So I'm like, okay, well, pretty close. Maybe if he emailed again, it would put me over the edge. But the real red flag here was 84 clicks and only 4 opt-ins, and that's a 4.76% opt-in rate. So I was like, well, what do we do here? And I think he ended up just refunding me the money. And what's sad is this has happened a couple different times where I've bought solo ads from someone and they're just gone, they disappear, and then months later I'm like, well, you never even mailed. Can I get the money back? Or you mailed and you sent a little trickle. And so this guy's reasoning was that he said that the email that I provided to him was not a good email. And it was like, well, no, it is, because I've used the same email in other solo ads. It's resulted in a bunch of clicks. I sent it to my own list and resulted in a bunch of clicks. And the problem isn't that they're clicking. I mean, he did send 84 out of 100 clicks. So he almost got there click-wise, but the traffic he sent was only 4 opt-ins. So it's like, well, the people that are clicking are not buyers. And I mean, we've even come across, there's one time when we paid somebody $500 to mail to an opt-in page, and all the opt-ins came from the same exact IP address, if you know what that is, and all the emails were they were real emails, but they kept replying to us saying, "Help! What is this? I didn't sign up for this. You're spamming me." So I mean, without ruining your day too much, the moral of the story was a couple things: is that not all traffic is created equal. But you should still be open to new ways of building your list and getting traffic. But you need to trust but verify. You need to have a link tracker, such as the one that I use called Ad Tracks. And the cool thing about that is it allows you to create what are called sub campaigns. So normal link tracking is you say, I want to send traffic to Backup Creator cash flow, and it will count the number of clicks that come through, and it will count the number of email subscriptions, and it will even count the number of sales. You can place a special tracking code every part along the way and track all this stuff. But then sub campaigns means that I can have the Backup Creator / cash flow opt-in page, but then I can have a sub campaign for if I buy ads from Jack or if I buy ads from Joe. I can see specifically how many clicks, opt-ins, and sales I got from Jack's link tracking. So there's all kinds of new ways to build a list, but the one that I know the best way is to create a paid product and to put it on an affiliate network. Now, what's an affiliate network? An affiliate network are things like ClickBank or JVZoo. So what you do is, if I have a backup plugin, but I mean in your case it could be a report or something, and what you do is you create a members area or download page, you create a sales letter, and we show you all this in IncomeMachine.com. And then you can, for starters, use PayPal to take these payments, right? PayPal means that someone can come to your site even at 2 in the morning, click a button, put in their credit card details. PayPal handles that, but you still get the money, so everybody wins. And then what you can do is switch out that button with a ClickBank button. Now, ClickBank works a lot like PayPal, where they handle the credit card, they handle the refund, you don't have to touch that kind of stuff. But then, if you give someone a special link, they can register under you and they can send their own traffic to your sales page, and they can collect 50% commission, or they can collect 100% commission, or you can give away 100% commission on that front end $10 product and then sell another $100 product on the back end, and you keep all of that money. Or you could give them 50% of $10 in the front end, and if someone buys a thing for $10 and then upgrades to the bigger and better package for $100, you can also give away 50% of that back end sale as well. But the point is that you need to somehow build your list, and if all these free options, you need to be having every possible way out there of building your list. So try some solo ads, buy a few of them, and also do things like have a blog. That way you take advantage of search engine optimization or free Google traffic. Have a podcast, like I have this podcast I'm talking to you right now on. You can get that set up at podcastcrusher.com, and run Facebook ads, run Bing ads, so that you have people coming in the funnel. But then once people buy from you, then give them a link to register at your affiliate program at either ClickBank or JVZoo, and then that way you can take advantage of some of that viral kind of stuff. And you can contact other affiliates or people that have known to be affiliates. So guess what? If you're on any marketers list and you notice that they're emailing for other people's stuff, well, guess what? Those are affiliate marketers you can then contact and either give them a link to your affiliate program or offer to buy a solo ad from them. I think you'll get a lot better results than I have from solo ads if you buy ads from people who don't have it for a full-time business, actual marketers who sometimes just want to break from the marketing, and maybe they'll just take $300 for them to mail for your offer. So most, and definitely not all, but most of the products that we sell have some kind of an affiliate program. And so I think one of the best ones that you can promote is the one at backupcreator.com/affiliates. So you go to backupcreator.com/affiliates and you can get a special link of your own to promote our product called Backup Creator. You get different links, and you can link to the sales leader, you can link to the free opt-in page, you can link to some videos and stuff like that, so you can create a whole sequence promoting us. We give you banner ads, we give you things you can put on Facebook or tweet or email to your list or just schedule in your follow-up sequence. But I mean, think about that. Even if you're going to take a month off in your internet business, maybe if like the holidays are coming up, or it's going to be real busy if you're going to school, or if you got to take care of a sick family member or something, what if you scheduled out the next month's worth of autoresponder messages, and you just signed up for some of these affiliate programs and promoted different things? And what's cool too about a lot of these affiliate programs, including ours, is that a lot of these affiliate programs, they don't necessarily want you to just send to a sales page. They might give you a free report to give away. They might give you a affiliate link that sends people to a blog post or a video, and then days later, then you can actually hit someone up with a sale once you've warmed them up. But also don't think that affiliate marketing is an evil thing to do, or don't think that just by doing affiliate marketing that you'll burn out your list. You might if you hit them too often, or if they're not interested. But if you kind of play that middle ground and you deliver some cool value and a few things to offer, and maybe some of these affiliates do things like they'll promote Backup Creator and then offer a bonus package of their own. So they'll say, well, buy Backup Creator through my link and you'll get these extra WordPress videos. I'll meet with you for some one-on-one coaching. I'll send you some DVDs. So now you're making yourself different and standing out and providing value to people who were going to buy Backup Creator or a backup plugin eventually anyway. And I mean, one thing we're doing differently this month, and I'm not really ready to talk about it, but what we're doing differently this month is we're actually doing a real affiliate launch. And that means that we're registering at some of these launch calendar or some of these different affiliate networks, and we're saying, okay, well, the date that this product is launching, Backup Creator, the next version, is going to launch a month from now, and we have this date set in stone, so we can tell the affiliates ahead of time so they can make sure that those few days are clear. They can load up the messages in their autoresponders, and that way everyone has a little bit more advanced notice. So instead of, instead of getting all pissed off about when people are being evil internet marketers, maybe just look at what they're doing and what you can learn or emulate or reproduce and what they're doing. And that's the worst thing. When I build a list of people who want to build websites and people who want to be internet marketers, and they say, "Why are you always selling stuff to me?" Well, I don't always sell stuff to you. I send you the blog posts and podcast episodes like this, and I do pitch webinars. But also, even if I didn't, aren't you trying to be an internet marketer, someone who makes money on the internet? So wouldn't you, I love when people sell to me. There is a point when it becomes too much, but the marketers that I like the best are the ones that get me to buy from them, because then I can look at that and say, whoa, what is it that they said that made me sit up and pay attention and click over and buy? And I might have even had to click over 5 or 10 times. So finally I paid them $1,000, $2,000 to buy their package. So now let me reverse engineer that and do that for myself. The best marketing training is going to be from these other email marketers that send you emails. Now, if you're on someone's email list and you're not clicking, well, then sure, unsubscribe. But if you're on someone's list and you end up clicking on stuff, you end up buying stuff, don't dismiss that. Use that to build your own business, and build your own business by getting more traffic to your site. Now, you need to use Income Machine to have an opt-in page and a sales letter and a downloaded membership site to begin with. And then once you have that set up, the final module of Income Machine is traffic, where you can then do these things like track your clicks and buy some solo ads. Some will pay off but some won't. But if they do pay off, like I said, there's some of these guys where I've paid money one time and then bought from them over and over again. Not a bunch, but every few months, gone and replenished the list, and sometimes it's made money and sometimes it hasn't. But you're holding out all the times that it's not making money. You're holding out for when it actually does make money, and then now the list is seeded. Well, then you can make sales of some products and then recruit your customers into affiliates over and over again. So traffic, you need it. All right, everyone needs it. If you have it, you need even more of it, because that means a bigger list. That means more clicks when you send an email, and that means more sales, and that means more repeat sales over and over again. So that's been a tale of two traffic sources from the Robert Plank Show. Solo ads are okay. Solo ads, remember, where you buy someone's package of a set number of clicks back to your opt-in page or your sales letter. And then affiliate networks are these things where you have an affiliate program, you give away some or all of the commission of your product, and then people grab the emails you provide, and then instead of you having to pay up front, they go and send the clicks, and then whatever sales they make, that is their reward. So do both of those things. Now, solo ads do, for the most part, suck. Most of them do, but you'll get lucky every now and then. And then affiliate networks are worth doing, because any extra money you get or any extra paid buyers you get, even if you give away all the commission, that's money, and that's a subscriber on your list that you wouldn't have had otherwise. And the money's in the list. The bigger list you have, the more money you'll make. And the list and traffic, that's the slowest parts of your business to grow. You can put out a product in a couple days, in an afternoon even, or even a big high-ticket membership site. You can get that going in a week or two, or even less. But traffic is an ongoing thing. Now, the rules are always changing, and the fads come and go, right? JV giveaways, viral reports, traffic exchanges, code registration, safe lists. And so you need to be thinking a lot more about traffic than you probably already are, and you need to be buying solo ad traffic, because that means that these guys who follow the fads, they're building lists, so you just get a piece of that. And then definitely, even if you skip over the solo ad part, definitely have an affiliate program, so that, once again, people who have built their list using all these weird and crazy methods, now you can get their traffic and you can get their subscribers and build your business over and over again. Get some traffic going, get some solo ads, join affiliate networks. I'm Robert Plank. This has been the Robert Plank Show. Join us at my blog, if you haven't already, at robertplank.com, and set up your site at incomemachine.com. Have a great day, and thank you.